All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. 365, we making a plays. You talking the game, get you through the days. We're high in the court, the dime in the lane. Variety, topics never the same. All presentation, sports information. In the airways, taking the nation. All sport, all plays. Like working your faces. Grace up the field, so tie the laces. All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. Network. We on top of our game. All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to the ASAP Sports Network. I am Ace from the West Coast, and I'm joined tonight by none other than the Sarge and, of course, everyone's new favorite gimmick, Mess Around Dave. And you are watching another episode of Between the Ropes. So how are you all doing tonight?
I'm doing great.
I'm good. Thanks.
How about you, Matt? Mess Around, you doing good?
Oh, we're good.
Good. All right. So as we know, we always have that little bit of ads and sponsors we need to take care of. So, of course, that first sponsor we need to take care of, Suzanne's Paparazzi Jewelry. So, Nate, if you can please go ahead and pull that bad boy up.
Suzanne's Paparazzi Jewelry, 24/7 shopping available. 160920 is the code. Show her some love, like she showed us, from all of us here at the ASAP Network.
All right, of course, our next sponsor that we have is a little bit of Misty Meadows. Nate, if you'll go ahead and pull up that little bit of Misty Meadows. Sure, for that little bit of Misty Meadows up there. All right, so of course, the last but not least, we're going to show you a little bit about our T-shirts, how you can win one of those awesome ASAP Network T-shirts. All you have to do is come on our shows. You got to like and comment. The more comments you put, the better chance you have at winning. At the end of the month, we add up all the comments, and the person that actually left the most comments at the end of the month is actually Viewer of the Month. So make sure to do that. And then if you cannot come on and you cannot comment, you can always buy one. And how much does it cost to buy one? $14.99 plus shipping and handling, anywhere from small to 2XL. But don't forget that you can always get over 2XL. Also, it's just a couple dollars more. All right. Of course, so now we need to jump into a little bit of action. Tonight is like the first time in several weeks that we have not had a special guest on our show. So we're going to actually be talking about Raw, SmackDown, and then we actually have some topics that we're going to cover tonight also. So we're going to go ahead. We're going to kick this off by talking about a little bit of Monday Night Raw. And so, Sarge, why don't you go ahead and tell us what the first match on Monday Night Raw was?
All right. The first match was Nia Jax versus Naomi, with Nia Jax winning it.
Oh, man. So Sarge, since you told us what the first match was, why don't you go ahead and you kick it off and tell us what you thought about that first match?
Nia Jax can't wrestle. That's all I'm going to say with that. But the one thing I'll give her, I do like her choke slam. I don't know why. I just do. She only has like the 3 boobs of doom. It was, to me, it was kind of a dud of a match. I don't think Naomi fits well with the storyline. That's what my take is.
All right. How about you, Mess Around?
Yeah, I'm with Sarge. It's more of a throw-in for Naomi being in the match. I have no idea what that was all about, but it was an all right match for having Nia Jax in there.
Yeah, it's one of the things right now you kind of see the whole thing with Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler and basically Naomi. So let me tell you, let me ask you this: where do you think this storyline is going? And I'll start with the Sarge on this one.
I think they're trying to push Lana again. Because as you know, they were trying to push her before she took a hiatus. Now she's back, and look, she's getting another push. Kind of like Flair, Charlotte Flair. Like I said, this storyline is not making sense to me. It just came kind of out of the blue.
Well, but you know that they've been trying to give Lana a push for quite some time. And generally what they do, especially with Lana, is they try and give her a push, and then she ends up getting – and then they kind of back her off by acting like she's injured, and then they put in somebody else in that picture. So it's kind of weird. Are they going to actually give her that push that they've been trying to do for a while or what? So, Mess Around, you tell me, where do you think they're going with this storyline?
Who knows? I mean, Lana, like you said, she's in, she's out, she's in, she's out. You never know with her. It's one of those poo or get out the pot situations with her.
So did you guys personally care about this match or not?
No. I didn't.
Mess Around, did you personally like this match?
No. I kind of fast forwarded through it to the NC one. I really didn't even watch it, honestly.
All right, so Sarge, why don't you go ahead and tell us what that second match of the night was?
All righty. The second match is we had the Hurt Business, which is the Raw Tag Team Champions, versus Get These Hands, Braun Strowman, and Adam Pearce.
And I'll tell you what, this was kind of an interesting match. It's kind of interesting to actually see Adam Pearce kind of get involved in wrestling a little bit. Not something that we're definitely used to seeing. We've only seen it one time so far. But of course, when you have an opponent like, or when you have, sorry, not an opponent, but when you have a partner like Braun Strowman, what do you have to worry about? I mean, honestly. So, Mess Around, you can start this out and tell me, what do you think of this match?
I was okay with the match. I liked the match. It was good. Braun Strowman did all the heavy lifting, and then, at the end, Shane's like, hey, tag him in. Then he gets in, takes too long, and gets rolled up takes the loss that way. But, yeah, I don't know what they're doing. I think they're setting up for a Shane versus Strowman at Mania thing.
Yeah, the Shane versus Strowman. But there was a lot of speculation about who Shane McMahon was going to face at Mania, because he normally has a match virtually since he's come back. He's had a match every year at Mania, whether it be Undertaker, AJ Styles. Maybe that's where it's going now with Braun Strowman. I don't know. I really hope not, because there would be no way that Shane McMahon could ever compete with Braun Strowman. That would just be pure ridiculous to ever even try that. That would be absolutely crazy. But, Sarge, why don't you go ahead and tell me, what do you think of this match?
I like the match. I like Braun Strowman. They actually utilized him well there. He was a giant force that, like, the Hurt Business couldn't do anything with him. He kept knocking them down. Yeah, he was knocked out as well with the knees, but they're definitely setting up for Shane McMahon. And you're just saying that he can't compete with Braun Strowman. Is that what I heard right?
Yeah.
Well, come on, he fell off the Hell in the Cell. I think he can do it.
Okay, but there's a difference between Braun Strowman and The Undertaker in terms of strength. Okay, that's all I'm saying. And Shane McMahon also faced The Undertaker in his later years. Strowman's still younger and a heck of a lot stronger. So,
but did Strowman survive a helicopter crash? No.
Yeah.
We're talking about this. Oh my gosh. All right. But so personally, you like the match, but we all know that right now, basically the Hurt Business, they're still trying to build them up. We know what they're doing with them, especially as the Raw Tag Team Champs. We know right now that they're probably not going to lose it. I would guess and say probably until at least WrestleMania, it's probably not going to happen. But Mess Around, what do you think? The Hurt Business right now, we know that they're trying to build them up. And so obviously they weren't going to lose this match. When do you foresee maybe the Hurt Business losing their tag team titles? I said it's Mania.
I agree with you. I think they lose to the New Day at WrestleMania. And yes, Randy, I'm aware that we missed Sheamus versus McIntyre. That was the first match.
Yeah, we're gonna get there. We're gonna get there. We don't always do the matches in order. That's okay. All right. So, and so Randy Cox is coming out, or everybody would know him as Dragon Viper, which he can't be with us tonight. He's actually coming out and saying that Shane McMahon is better than Braun Strowman. That's
delusional.
That is crazy. And that's one of those delusional Dragon Viper takes. That's something that he would come out and say on the show when you're like, how can you even come out and say that? Shane McMahon doesn't even really have any real moves. He doesn't. He has his little rabbit punches. That's pretty much all he does. And then his coast to coast. I mean, that's pretty much it. But now Brandon Herrera is saying that the Hurt Business will never lose them. Well, I think they will. But did anybody see, and before we go on about this, did anybody see that interesting thing that people were talking about The Rock, because The Rock came out and left a comment to MVP and said, I really, really enjoy what you guys are doing. You guys are doing great thing. You keep up the good work, because Lashley had left a comment saying that he couldn't have won the belt if it wasn't for guys like The Rock who paved the way for him. And so now, because The Rock came out and said that, the Twitter accounts and everything were kind of blowing up to where everyone's like, oh, does that mean that The Rock is going to come back and join the Hurt Business? I'm like, no, I don't foresee that happening. But Sarge, if you want to give me a little bit more, on this match in terms of where you see this going, do you think that Braun is somehow going to end up going against the Hurt Business going into Fastlane or Mania or anything like that?
I think this match did two things. I think it built up the Hurt Business with the titles with that, and it also starting a storyline with Shane McMahon because he can't stay out of the spotlight.
Well, thing is I want to say this, though, is that you're saying if it kind of built up Hurt Business. Now, I could see that if they came out and pinned like Braun Strowman, but when you pin a guy like Adam Pearce who isn't an actual wrestler, I don't think it would really help you build you up anymore. But mess around. What do you think on that?
Sorry, I was sharing the show. What was your question?
You're good. Where do you think this is going with the Hurt Business and Braun? Do you think Braun is going to stick in this storyline with the Hurt Business?
Maybe after Mania. I don't see him doing anything until after that, because I think, like I said earlier, I think Shane's gonna go against Braun at Mania, and then Lawsuit's probably gonna go in the triple threat match with McIntyre and The Miz.
All right, so now we'll jump into the match that Randy wants us to cover, which was the Sheamus and Drew match. And so, mess around. You can go ahead and kick us off and tell me what you thought about this match.
Oh, excuse me.
No, you're good. Sheamus and Drew, what did you think of this match?
Sheamus and Drew, I thought it was a knockdown, drag out, just total brawl like everybody thought it was going to be. It wasn't even really a wrestling match. There's several moves where they tried to use white noise on Sheamus off the middle turnbuckle. I thought that was cool. I liked the match. I thought it was great. McIntyre hits Claymore for the win. But I wouldn't mind seeing this match run back again.
You know what's interesting, though, is we sit out here and we talk basically off screen and everything. We talk about how much we're not Drew McIntyre fans. And then we sit here and we basically talk up a match that Drew McIntyre was in by saying that Drew McIntyre and Sheamus put on a good match. It was actually good. Sheamus is talented. I like him. He's a talented guy. McIntyre, I don't know what it is, but something about McIntyre, I'm still not completely sold on McIntyre. I don't know why. I just haven't figured it out yet, but I'm just not a huge fan of McIntyre yet. I did like this match. however, I like this rivalry between Sheamus and Drew McIntyre. It just makes me wonder that if they're going to end up going Drew McIntyre against, well, I'm not going to give the ending of it yet, just in case people haven't seen Raw yet and they want to find out. But Sarge, tell me what you thought about this match.
I enjoyed this match very much. It was a good way to start off Raw. It was a slobber knocker. It was slobber knocker. My bad. It was a slobber knocker, and it was a good match. It was a great match. I loved it how it started off with Raw, but also sometimes I kind of wish these type of matches are the ones that ended in the show also. But I'm gonna have to say it was a great start to the show.
Yeah, and so speaking of Sheamus that was involved in this match, do you guys personally think, when I look at Sheamus, I don't know what it is, but I think Sheamus actually makes a better heel than he does a face. And so when they change Sheamus back to a heel, I'm like, I love his character as a heel. I just think that he runs a better character when he is heel. So mess around, what do you think? Do you think Sheamus actually makes a better heel?
Yeah, I agree. I think he's definitely better as a heel. He plays it off much better than he does a face. He's like a lot like Randy Orton, who's the same way. It's better as a heel than he is a face.
Yeah, Randy Orton should definitely always be a heel, but I won't get into that too much yet. But Sarge, what do you think? Do you think that Sheamus makes a better heel or a better face?
I think he makes a better heel, but when he was with the Bar, I gotta say he's a tween. I think he's a great tween. If you guys can agree with that one.
Well, he can do both. I agree, he can do both, but for me personally, I like to see Sheamus as a heel. I just think he does more, and I think his character better suits him as a heel. It's just something about it.
Yeah, I agree.
Because obviously right now you see how WWE wants to run with Drew McIntyre as basically the guy on Monday Night Raw. That's what they want. So they don't want to make Drew McIntyre a heel right now because we know that Roman Reigns is a heel. So they want to make Drew a face. And then if they're going to have Sheamus go against Drew, they got to make Sheamus the heel, which I think is better suited. If you're going to have either Sheamus, if you're going to have Sheamus versus Drew, you got to see which one's going to do better as a heel, which one's going to do better as a face. And I think Sheamus makes the better heel than Drew McIntyre does.
Agreed.
All right, so Tim, why don't you give me the next match of the night?
The next match of the night is Elias versus Damian Priest.
Yes. So another Damian Priest. Now let me tell you this. Damian Priest, since he has come over here, since he's been called up from NXT, Damian Priest has actually been really, really impressive. I like what he's done. He's done with this character. He's not in my fave 5 yet, as I like to say, but one day he might get there because he's actually very, very talented. Mess around, you said the same thing. You said that Damian Priest was kind of growing on you because he's got talent. So mess around, tell me, what'd you think of this match overall?
I thought the match was really good. I mean, like you said, Priest is growing on me. He reminds me of Baron Corbin when Corbin first started out. Athletic, can do many things, but Priest is a little more up there as far as being a high flyer and things like that, and taking risk off the ropes. The match is really good. I like the match.
All right, Sarge?
Well, we do have some breaking news that Drake and Piper likes another wrestler.
Comments. Damian Priest.
Wow.
That's breaking news.
That makes 2?
Yeah, that's crazy. He's actually up to 2 now. He's up to 2 people that he likes.
Wow.
Man,
Wow.
Dragon Piper, wow.
Wow. So I liked Damian Priest when he came out during the Rumble. I was hooked once he was going at it and everything else. He just needs to lose Bad Bunny. I don't understand Bad Bunny whatsoever. But it was a great match, and I thought Elias did a good job as well, and I was happy with the outcome of this match.
I will say the outcome of the match, I did like it, but I am a little disappointed that they kind of took Elias's character and kind of did a little bit of a 360 with it, because I really liked his character at the very beginning. I love that every time he came out, walk with Elias. I think that was the best thing ever. And I used to say it all the time. I would always say, what does WWE stand for? Walk with Elias. So Elias, I just a little disappointed that they're not doing as much with Elias's character that they should. Elias is another one of those guys that's kind of stuck in between, and I kind of feel sorry for him. But overall, this was a great match, and I think we're going to actually be seeing a lot of Damian Priest in the future, especially I think at some point he's going to be a main eventer. With everything that I've seen right now, I'm ready to actually put him in there and be like, yes, we're going to see him in the main event picture eventually. And you know what, Dragon Viper, he's coming out and saying that Elias is terrible. Does he even understand what true talent actually is?
Has he ever watched wrestling?
Right?
I only got two favorites, so.
And we're learning that, but we're learning that he does like somebody else besides Randy Orton. So we can pencil that in and put that on the calendar, because that is crazy. He's finally said he likes somebody else.
And it's on social media, so let's get it go viral.
Yeah, you can't take that back now.
All right, so as we saw today, or not today, I'm sorry, as we saw Monday between Damian Priest and Elias, do you see this as being maybe a rivalry for maybe going into Fastlane, maybe Mania, maybe, I don't know. Mess around. I'll start with you. What do you think on that? Do you think that Elias and Damian Priest, it's going to be a rivalry?
Yeah, I think they're going to run it back a couple times, just for something for both of them to do for the meantime. But I totally agree. Priest is definitely going to be a main eventer soon. He's got the talent for it.
Damian Priest, main eventer. But we know how WWE is at times. When you think you know that somebody's going to be a main event guy, and they basically just kill their character because they don't want to give him a push. And I really hope that they don't do that with Damian Priest. But Sarge, coming to you, what do you think? You think this is going to end up being a rivalry?
It's really hard to say, because the last few episodes of Raw, he's been going after different people. But I can see this being a Fastlane, but it's hard for me not seeing it. It's hard for me to see it as a Mania event. But if Mania was going for 2 days, then I can probably see it maybe going to Mania. With Bad Bunny in tow somehow.
Bad Bunny in tow.
Yep.
All right, Sarge. So let's go ahead and move it on to the next match of the night.
All right, the next match, we have The Miz versus Bobby Lashley.
Oh, man. So, but if you remember when The Miz and Bobby Lashley, so remember when it first started out that The Miz automatically got counted out so he didn't have to face Lashley to retain the title. And then you saw that Lashley was upset because The Miz decided to grab the belt, take off running, and get a 10 count. And then we saw what ended up happening. So that was... Are you trying to cover the first time that they got in the ring or the second time?
The first time. It was a match. It counted.
Yeah, I mean, technically, yes, it was, because Bobby Lashley won by count out, but that was it. It wasn't even anything. It was the bell rang, and The Miz ran out of the ring, grabbed the championship and took off and ran, and Bobby Lashley won because of count out. So,
you know why he ran? Because he had a bad stomach.
Yeah, exactly.
And you gotta go.
So I really thought that, come on, we all know The Miz like, oh, I got a bad stomach. It was unfair. But all right, so there's really not much to cover in this match, really, because it's just The Miz grabbing the title and running. But overall, Did you think that this was a great way to actually make their first match? And Sarge, I'll start with you. Did you think this was a great way to put their first match?
I don't know if I could do this because my stomach hurts. No, I thought it was a great way because for me, it's a typical Miz match, trying to sneak his way out as a winning. So that's why it kind of counted as a match because, the bell rang. But I thought it was good. It was I like the fact that to get Bobby Lashley even more angry towards the end of the show, there's a spoiler a little bit later. So,
yep. All right, mess around. What'd you think?
He pulled the Sami Zayn.
Yeah, right.
Come on, baby. He's out of there. Yeah, I thought it was okay to set up the later match.
Mm-hmm. Randy Cox.
Gave it.
Randy Cox, you know your role and you shut your mouth there, sir. You stop talking crap about The Miz, okay? You stop it because what you say doesn't matter. The Miz fears no man. So know your role.
My hand goes up, your mouth goes shut.
Yes, it's just like The Miz would say. When my hand goes up, your mouth goes shut. So don't be saying anything out there about The Miz. All right. Sarge, let's move on.
All righty. Next match is Charlotte Flair versus Shayna.
And again, hey, Sarge, but the one thing that you're forgetting, tell everybody is who won the match.
Oh, yeah. The winner of the match is Charlotte. My bad. Greg Viper needs to come back.
You're good. You're good. So we saw that Charlotte Flair ended up winning this match like normal. That's a Charlotte Flair thing. She's going to end up facing Asuka again for the championship at Mania again. And here's an interesting thing. I don't know if you saw the comment that Peyton Royce's mother said, that she actually posted it on Twitter and said, "Hey, Charlotte Flair, why don't you give some of the other divas a chance to win a title every now and then?"
Yes.
Which is kind of true. I understand she always gets a title shot because she's Charlotte Flair, because she's Ric Flair's daughter. She is talented, but it is time that other people get a run with the championship. Yeah, it'll go Charlotte, and then Charlotte will lose it to somebody else, and then the belt goes back on Charlotte, and then she loses it, and then it goes back on Charlotte. So it seems like it's always between Charlotte and somebody else. Charlotte is always in that picture no matter what. And so, Sarge, I'll start with you. What'd you think of this match? Overall, let me tell you this. Charlotte is way more athletic than Shayna. And I will give Charlotte that. Basically, with Charlotte, she had to carry this match. To me, that's how I felt about it. Charlotte carries the match with Shayna Baszler.
I have to agree. She has to carry the match. I think even if she wrestled Nia as well, she would have to carry the match as well. I don't know. I'm just tired of seeing Charlotte in the title picture, to be honest with you.
Well, yeah, and let's not forget too that Asuka was actually out this week because of injury. Because last week when Shayna actually kicked Asuka in the mouth and actually busted her tooth out, so Asuka's actually gone for a couple weeks due to a legitimate injury. So, mess around. You go ahead and tell me what was your thoughts on this match.
Everything you said 100% is why I can't stand Charlotte Flair. She gets all the title matches, titles on her, titles off her. But it's well-deserved, though, at the same time. She's more athletic than any woman on the roster, and she carries a lot of matches. There's only a few matches she doesn't carry, like against Sasha Banks, Becky Lynch, Bayley. But the match was good, even though she did most of the work and the heavy lifting. I was okay with it.
Yeah, but now, even when you look at Shayna Baszler and Nia Jax, I know that Nia is known as basically the botch queen. Like she botches a lot of spots. Shayna kind of does the same thing, but overall, when you look at the championship, I know Nia's had it before. Shayna has never had it, And at the very beginning, when Shayna first came here, Vince was kind of high on Shayna. And right now, there's kind of rumors going, well, he's backed off a little bit on Shayna because he's not quite sure how he feels about her yet. He doesn't know if she's ready to be in that main event spotlight yet. He doesn't quite know. And personally, after seeing her matches week after week after week, I'm not sure. Shayna Baszler to me, on the female side, reminds me of the Brock Lesnar on the female side. And so mess around. What do you think of that?
I think honestly, Shannon needs to go back to NXT for a little more seasoning to refine everything that she does, get better technique, more.
Sarge, what do you think? Does she kind of remind you of the Brock Lesnar of the Divas division?
Yeah, she does. Because pretty much she gets her way.
Oh, are you talking about Charlotte? No. I was talking.
Oh, my bad.
I was talking about Shayna.
Oh, Shayna. I don't think she's a Brock Lesnar type whatsoever. I don't think so.
All right, Sarge, go ahead and throw us into that next match. Just throw us. Give us Suplex City into that next match.
All right. I'm going to do 2 Suplex Cities because this match became 2 matches. We got Retribution versus Riddle and Lucha House Party, where Retribution won, Riddle and Lucha House Party won. Then we have Ali versus Riddle with Ali winning.
Yes, Mustafa Ali finally got back in the ring after some time that we're like, when is he going to ever step back in the ring? And we finally saw it. And Mustafa Ali is one of the people that, if you remember when he first came, Mustafa Ali is actually talented. He is, and so I was happy to see him get back in the ring. Now with Mustafa Ali actually beating Matt Riddle, to me, I feel like that's going to put him in the U.S. title picture, and I feel like Ali is going to end up facing Matt Riddle at Mania and probably end up getting the U.S. Championship off of Matt Riddle because of Retribution. But even going back to Matt Riddle and Lucha House Party against Retribution, yet again, we saw another Retribution loss. And we saw how frustrated Mustafa Ali was getting with Retribution because they kept losing. So he's like, let me show you how it's done. Then he stepped in and got it done. Overall, I think this storyline is working with Retribution and how we're not quite sure if they're going to end up splitting up, if Mustafa Ali is going to end up turning on them or they're going to turn on him. I don't know. But mess around. I'll start with you. What do you think of this?
The matches were good. I like Lucha House Party as much as they're not a big name tag team. Those guys can move in the ring, and their high flying moves that they are just amazing. I think Ali needs to go out and be on his own, and they need to get rid of the whole Retribution thing altogether. It's just not working.
Well, I don't know if they need to get rid of Retribution. Maybe put somebody else in there, but Mustafa Ali definitely needs to be on his own. He's too talented not to be.
Agreed.
So, Sarge, what do you think?
I thought both of the matches were pretty good, and I actually like the ending of each of these matches. And Ali's a great wrestler, and I think he should get the championship belt off of Riddle. And I don't know. Do you guys see a breakup happening with Retribution?
I do. At some point, I think it's going to happen. Because you see that Mustafa Ali keeps getting frustrated because Retribution keeps losing. So at some point, you're going to see Mustafa Ali end up turning on Retribution.
Or would it be Retribution turning on Ali?
I know. I think Mustafa Ali is going to end up getting rid of him or turning on them because he's going to get sick of it. I don't know. That's just, I don't know. It's going to be tough. But mess around. What do you think on that?
On the turn?
Yeah.
I think if a turn happens, it's going to be Ali turning on the Retribution. I think he's going to get tired of them losing. It's going to eat at him, and he's just going to turn on them because they're not winning enough.
All right. So then, of course, we have, pretty sure it's our last match of the night. So, Sarge, let's go ahead and go into that one, and we know what it was.
All right. We had the last match turned into a lumberjack match, which is The Miz versus Bobby Lashley for the title.
And I'll tell you what, I was very, very disappointed in this because I am actually a huge Miz fan, and I was very, very upset that they had Bobby Lashley win this match. I know why they did it, but the bad thing is they made it a squash match. They didn't even make it a good match. It was just a squash match. You know, you make it a lumberjack match, and then you make the champion look so weak by not even really giving him a shot. He comes out and basically just gets squashed, and then he loses and by the freaking Hurt Lock again. Are you kidding me? So we all know where this is basically leading. It's leading to the whole Bobby Lashley versus Drew McIntyre at WrestleMania. And so I'll go ahead and I'll start with Sarge on this one.
With this one, I'm going to say I'm buying stock in the Hurt business as of right now. I'm happy for Lashley to getting his title, but I wish it was a different way. I wish he would have used like a spear or one of the other finishers that he has. Because I think the Hurt Lock is a dumb move, and I think it just hurts his character. But I was actually happy to see Lashley win, but also I was pretty sad to see The Miz lose the title so quickly.
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad that they put a title match of this caliber on Raw. I think they should do it more often than what they should, and so forth. But I enjoyed the match.
But that's the only reason why I hated it, because of how quickly The Miz lost the belt. That's why I didn't like it. I'm like, that was kind of ridiculous. You have him lose it after like a week. So, Mess Around, what was your thoughts on this?
You're absolutely right. It was a total squash match. I'm with you. I was disappointed to see The Miz win, but at the same time, it's good to see Lashley get the title after 17 years. So I was happy with that. Disappointed with the end I was hoping that Braun would come in and just like destroy Lashley for losing last week. That was my only the only part I didn't like. I was hoping to see that happen.
Yeah, but if the rumors are accurate, the rumors going around right now is that Brock Lesnar is going to show up at Fastlane, and that Brock Lesnar is going to end up coming in and basically destroying Lashley and McIntyre, and then it's going to end up setting up a triple threat match at WrestleMania.
Yeah, I told you that Lesnar was around the corner somewhere. I said that.
I'm pretty sure he is. He's there somewhere. It's going to either be Fastlane or Mania. He's going to show up. He's going to show up at some point. Lesnar's going to be there. We know it's coming. It's just
Raw needs Lesnar. Raw needs Lesnar to save the show to get the ratings back up. I hate to say it, I hate Brock, but they need Brock back.
All right. Well, now speaking of that, now we can switch off of Raw. We can actually go into SmackDown now. So now when we jump into SmackDown Live, all right, Mess Around, you have this one all written down for us. So you go ahead and tell me, what was the first match on SmackDown Live?
Okay, so the first match was supposed to be a tag match with Corbin and Sami Zayn versus the Street Profits, but they talked their way out of not doing that, and they turned it into two singles matches. The first one being Montez Ford versus Corbin, with Corbin getting the win.
All right, so you can go ahead and start out.
I like the match. I like Corbin. He's great in the ring, and then you got Ford, the high flyer. And he got distracted. Sami Zayn and this crew distracted Ford, cost him the match, and Corbin got the win that way.
Baron Corbin's another guy that's underappreciated in WWE. And I know people don't like him because of his character, but he's actually talented. So, all right, Sarge, so you go ahead and tell me what you thought on this match.
About time Corbin gets a good win. I thought it was a good win. I do like Corbin. I liked him since he had that crazy long hair, which didn't fit him. But I enjoyed the match completely.
And I know why Brandon Herrera made that comment. He made that comment just to irritate me because he said Brock versus Bobby versus Drew versus Goldberg. 4 different guys in the ring at the same time that I would hate to see in the ring at one time. The only thing is I respect Brock. I'm not saying he's good in the ring. I respect him. But the other 3 I could care less for, to be perfectly honest with you. But anyways, it was good to see actually Baron Corbin actually get a good win after this. It feels like it's so far between that Corbin actually gets good wins. So congratulations for Baron Corbin actually getting a decent win in there. So mess around. I forgot this is you. So you tell us the next match.
The next one was Dawkins versus Sami Zayn, with Dawkins getting the win.
Dawkins. So, as we saw that Dawkins beat Sami Zayn, what do you think that means for Dawkins? At some point, do you possibly see – I don't want to say it because we have a lot of speculation on this, and people talk about it all the time when tag teams end up going solo at times in solo matches. Do you think at some point you could see basically a split up of the Street Profits and Sarge?
I can see it. I think Ford is a more athletic.
He is.
He brings more entertainment to the team for me. And I mean, that's one team I can see that they're splitting up, unlike the New Day. I can't see the New Day being split up.
No, they've been together for so long, but that's what you end up seeing. You see these tag teams actually get together, and then they split them up. Montez Ford is the more talented guy. Dawkins is the bigger guy, and we saw Dawkins basically come in and beat Zayn, which I rather enjoyed. Anytime I get to see Zayn lose, I love it. But mess around, you go ahead and take it away.
Look, we all know that Ford's the more talented guy of the two, but watching Dawkins on his own, getting out from underneath that shadow for a minute in the singles match, the guy's got talent too. He's not up there with Ford, but he's talented as well. And I was glad to see him win. I don't think they're going to break up the Street Profits yet. Maybe down the road, but right now there's just not that many great tag teams. If you break them up, that's one less good tag team you have right now. So.
Oh my goodness. So Dragon Viper's actually saying the Street Profits splitting up and going to different companies. He likes that. And I'm like, what? Are you kidding me? And then you have Imi, who is saying, she hopes not. She likes the tag team, which people do like the Street Profits. So I don't know. I don't think it'll happen, but people do like it. And she even put that, bring the smoke. All right. So, mess around. What was the next one?
I got Dominic Mysterio versus Chad Gable, with Mysterio getting the win.
Dominic Mysterio actually got a win. Impressive. He actually got a win. I'm still not even sure. I feel like they kind of just threw Dominic Mysterio at the fans because he wasn't even really in NXT. He just kind of came out and just kind of started wrestling because of his dad, Ray. And right now, from what I've seen, he's nowhere near his dad yet. Not even near talented enough. But he finally got a win. He beat Chad Gable. Where is this going to go? I don't know. But Sarge, you can go ahead and start out.
Yeah, I was a little bit confused that Dominic won. I think he needs to at least go to wrestling school. My opinion. The Alpha, they're kind of growing on me, to be honest with you. So
really,
I'm gonna mess around. Let's create a tag team. We're gonna be Omega because Alpha is the beginning. We're gonna be the Omega and end Alpha. How's that?
Omega and Alpha.
Let's go.
I
Let's do
like it. Except I already got a tag team partner where Galabarz is.
Yeah, you can't. Yeah, we've been a tag team for a while. You can't take it away. You cannot disrupt the trio. You can't. All right. So, mess around. What do you think of this match?
Yeah. Dominic Mysterio, I don't care for the kid. I think he should have at the very least, gone to NXT and got some training. But because, like you said, who his dad is, I mean, how many guys in NXT you think are pissed off because Mysterio's up there and they're not? And they've got the training.
Well,
I don't care for Mysterio.
Well, I think that's what it is. When we look at Dominic Mysterio, I think we put him to such a high standards because of who his dad is. And we typically do that quite a bit. We look at guys who their dads or uncles or whatever have wrestled in the industry, and we're like, wow, he's nothing like his dad, or he's nothing like his uncle. Because if they were a phenomenal wrestler or a Hall of Famer, then we put him on that pedestal, and we're like, oh, he's not living up to the expectation of the other person. But it's hard to do that because they are their own individual person. But if Dominic Mysterio is supposed to be another luchador, he's going to have to show some more in-ring skills.
And then you give him a win over a guy like Chad Gable, who's really good at wrestling and has the wrestling background and all that. Wow.
Yeah, but Chad Gable's character's been for a while. It's kind of been hit and miss. They haven't really done anything with this character.
I know. I'm just saying.
All right, mess around. What was the next one?
The next one we have my new favorite in the women's division, Bianca Belair, with the win over Shayna Baszler.
And yet again, isn't it kind of interesting how they decided to bring Shayna over to wrestle Bianca Belair on SmackDown? Normally when she's on Raw. I'm not even sure what the point of this was, but they did it anyway. Sarge, go ahead and tell me what your thoughts.
Well, didn't they have a tag team match though, like last week or the week before?
Yeah, but I'm saying though, what is the point of this? There is no point.
That's true. That's true. All I'm going to say about this match, I enjoyed this match completely. I think Belair's hair is better than Baszler.
She got more talent in her hair.
She got more talent in her hair. Yep.
Nice. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. Her hair is very, very. All right, mess around. What do you think?
I'm glad that Belair got the win. It's a really good match. She's really super talented. So big thanks for her. She's probably going to take the title off Banks at Mania too.
Agreed.
My prediction.
Oh yeah, and Belair is gonna rightfully win. She's deserved to win. She's shown like she's been talented since she's got here. We kind of see that Bayley has kind of taken that little bit of step back in the main event picture. Maybe at some point she'll step back up because Bayley carried SmackDown for a long time. So I don't know. Maybe she'll get back up there at some point. All right, mess around. Go ahead and give us the next match.
Cesaro with the win over Murphy.
So a returning Buddy Murphy. Let's not forget to say that. A returning Buddy Murphy. And it's kind of cool that they're finally giving Cesaro a little push. They're not giving him like a major push like we kind of expected they would, but for him this was actually a pretty big win. And I know a lot of people say it's Buddy Murphy and he's been out for a while, but it's still a pretty big win because I still think you're going to end up seeing Buddy Murphy still trying to realign back with Seth Rollins yet again. And will it happen? I don't know, because there's speculations that Seth Rollins is going to try and join forces with Reigns. Will that actually bring Buddy Murphy over there to join sides with Rollins and Reigns and Uso? I don't know. So, Sarge, tell me, what was your thoughts on this match?
Is Murphy the new Kurt Hawkins? How many times does this guy have to lose? I mean, I mean, every time I see Murphy comes out, I pretty much can guarantee that he's going to lose. Cesaro is a great talent. I thought they worked pretty well together. Him and Murphy, and it was a really good match. I can never get tired of the Swiss Superman sweep. I love it. I love it a lot.
I tell you what, he's got to get dizzy in there. If he doesn't, I don't know how he does it, man. I've spun my kids around a few times, and I get dizzy as heck when I'm doing that. So I don't know how the heck he doesn't get dizzy. But mess around. Go ahead and give me your thoughts on this match.
Yeah, you're right. That king of swing, baby. He brings it. That guy's so talented, and he should have had at least an Intercontinental title run. I think he should be a champion too, a heavyweight champion. He needs a bigger push. The guy's done so much for so long, and Murphy's not bad either. I love the match. It was great. Probably the second best match on the card, besides the main event, which we'll get to. Yeah, love the match.
Loved it. This is awesome.
Yeah.
All right, mess around. Go ahead and give us that next match.
So the next match is the main event, which was, like I said, the best match on the card. Daniel Bryan versus Uso in the steel cage.
Steel cage match. Steel cage with Daniel Bryan picking up the victory. And mess around. We talked about this a little bit, and we said we kind of like the new character of Uso.
With the way he's so aggressive, it's awesome.
Yeah, but it makes me wonder what's going to happen when his brother comes back. I don't know the route that they're going to go down with that. It's going to kind of be interesting to see. Sarge, what do you think of this match?
I enjoyed it. I thought, I have to agree with you guys. Probably the best match, not probably, but the best match of this card. Uso, I'm having a tough read on him. I'll say that he's doing a lot better, but I cannot get a read on him on if he's going to turn on Reigns or not down the road. I can't see it. I think he's going to come in unhinged somehow. But my question is, I don't know if you guys saw Daniel Bryan's shirt. Did you guys see his shirt?
The white one?
Yeah.
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 Do you think the planet champion's coming back?
Me.
Look at the shirt. It's all the shirt.
I know, but the thing is he would have to beat Reigns, and I just don't think it's gonna. The only way I could possibly see it happening would be if somehow Edge interfered in the match at Fastlane, and he ended up spearing Reigns, and then Daniel Bryan ended up getting the win over Reigns, and then the WrestleMania match turns into a triple threat match. I don't know. Other than that, I don't think the Planet Champion's going to be back anytime soon. So, mess around. What did you think?
The match was awesome. I mean, it had a lot of good spots. Uso, I love his new character. Everything about it is just amazing. You gonna get got, Us?
Gonna get got, yeah. You're gonna get it. So overall, when we look at SmackDown this week, it was kind of up and down. There was probably, I would say, 2 good matches on the card. And Randy Cox, I will actually agree. I cannot believe I'm saying this, but Dragon Viper, I'm going to actually agree with you on this. He said that Seth Rollins needs the belt back. He does. I cannot believe I'm actually agreeing with him on something. Holy crap. Seth freaking Rollins, yes, he needs the belt back. He's been needing it back for a while. He can carry that brand. I think he can carry it better than Roman Reigns can, to be perfectly honest.
Agreed. When Seth has the title, the show's so much better.
Huh?
When Seth has the title, the show's so much better.
Oh, absolutely. Okay, so of course that was the Raw and SmackDown. So now we're going to jump into what we call our 3-count topics. And tonight we actually have some really good topics for you. Ring that bell 3 times. Ding, ding, ding. So now our first topic is, what's the greatest rivalry in wrestling? It can be a tag team male or female. And this one kind of was interesting because I'm like, I guess you go old school, new school. But Sarge, I'll go ahead and start out with you on this one. What's the route you went? What's the greatest rivalry in wrestling?
I went kind of early 2000s on this one. I had to say Edge and Matt Hardy, due to the fact that it dealt with real life implications with inside that match and everything else. With Lita, going with Edge in the personal life. I think they got married also. But I think it was a great rivalry during that time. It became very personal, and you can feel it while watching the matches during that time.
All right, and mess around. What way did you go with this?
I went old school. I went with the Heartbreak Kid, Shawn Michaels and Bret the Hitman Hart. They had some great matches in the late 90s. Some awesome, amazing matches, including the screw job, which we won't get into. But
yeah, we're going to talk a little bit about the screw job because Rob Wilds really, really wants to. No, I'm just kidding.
Stay away from that one. That's a hot topic for him.
Yep, that's a very, very hot topic. We don't talk about the screw job. That's a bad one. And look at this. We actually have somebody else here that's popping up on the 3 count topics here. We have Mr. Man from the Midwest, Brandon Herrera.
Hey, how's it going, guys? Just got off of work in lovely Minneapolis, so hey, thought I'd come join you for a little bit.
And mess around. I'm glad that you did not take the greatest rivalry that I was going to say. I'm so glad. When you said a certain name, I'm like, please don't do it. Please don't do it. But all right, I'm glad you didn't go with that. And Sarge, I'm glad you didn't either. But the man from the Midwest, Brandon Herrera, I'm going to go ahead and I'll go with you. You tell me what your greatest rivalry in wrestling was.
My greatest rivalry in wrestling all time, I got to say, I mean, all times is Hogan and Andre. But more recent, I would have to say Randy Orton and Edge was a pretty good rivalry through the times, even when Edge came back.
Oh man, and I'm still glad nobody took mine because I actually went on the tag team side because this to me is what made tag teams the way they were. The greatest rivalry in wrestling history. You cannot overlook the Hardys versus the Dudleys versus Edge and Christian. You just cannot do it. They from how they created the TLC match and that era with those 3 tag teams right there, I felt like the belts were either on the Dudleys, they were either on the Hardys, or they were on Edge and Christian. I'll tell you what, those tag teams right there had some fantastic matches. Some of the greatest tag team matches I have ever seen. And to this day, I still catch myself going back on the network and still watching those famous TLC matches because those matches that they came up with were absolutely incredible. And if you remember, Edge and Christian actually won the first one, and then the Hardys actually won the second one, and then the Dudleys actually won the third one. So they kind of went back and forth on all those TLC matches, but not even the TLC matches, just in general. And do you remember the little characters that they came up with at one point originally when Edge and Christian were Los Lanquistadores?
Oh, yep.
And then the Hardys kind of tricked everybody and stole the costumes and then dressed up as Los Lanquistadores and then came out and beat Edge and Christian for the titles. That was kind of funny. I like that. So just overall, that to me was the greatest rivalry ever. Now, if you're going to look at the female side, because I don't want to leave the females out, but if you look at the greatest rivalry on the female side, I have to go with Trish and Lita. That would probably be at the top of my list for that because the matches they had were just incredible, just back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. You saw Trish start out really, really slow at the beginning of her career, but she really, really stepped it up. She really improved a lot throughout, and then that's what made that rivalry so much better. You had Lita, who was more of the high flyer. Trish wasn't so much. She was still talented in the ring, but she was not a high flyer. But does anybody have a female greatest rivalry that they want to throw out?
I did. I had the same one you did, and then I had Trish and Mickie James. And for my tag teams, I had the same ones you did. I had Dudley's versus Hardys, and Edge and Christian versus Hardys and Dudley's, same as you.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I would go female side. I mean, more recent. I mean, yeah, Trish and Lita by far has set the stage, but Flair and Sasha Banks, I mean, they had a decent rivalry. I know you guys talked about Flair earlier, and can't disagree with what you guys said about her, but her rivalry with Banks was definitely up there.
All right, how about you, Sarge? Did you have a female side?
Yeah, I had the Boss with Bailey versus Bailey. I think they have a great rivalry as of right now. I gotta go with that one. And for the tag team, I have to go with you guys. It had to be when the TLC started and all that with the Hardy Boys, Edge and Christian, and the Dudleys.
Now, who was it that got inducted into the Hall of Fame and had all three tag teams up there? Was that when Edge and Christian got inducted? Or did they announce that all pay respects to all three of them? Because that was a hell of a rivalry, no doubt about it. Those three.
Yeah, no, they definitely paid. They were paying homage to him. Basically,
Okay.
that's what they were doing. They were giving him mad respects.
Oh yeah.
But it doesn't matter anyways, because when it's all said and done, all three of those tag teams are Hall of Famers without question. It's not even a question whether they are or not. They are Hall of Famers. All right, so let's go into our next topic. Nate, go ahead and pull up our next topic. All right, so our next topic, Nate.
There you go.
All right, so what is one match you would tell young fans in the future? So when I'm looking back at the history, there's really one match that really sticks out for me that I'm like was actually incredible because it's one of the most talked about matches today, and that would be the Undertaker and Mankind Hell in a Cell match. That's really one of the most talked about matches that there is. So I would look back at that and be like, that was just so impressive, especially what Mankind went through, because I mean, some of that wasn't even supposed to happen, and it did when he fell through the top of the cell and went straight down, and being thrown off the cell. That was incredible. So to me, that was one of the greatest matches I have ever seen in my life. So Brandon Herrera, I'll go ahead and start with you.
Yeah, that's actually a great match. I mean, you had Hogan and Warrior back in the day too. One of the matches I thought of right away, you got the little picture right there, was definitely Rock and Hogan. But I would go with like Undertaker's last match with AJ Styles in that WrestleMania match, the Boneyard match. I thought that was phenomenal. I think that would definitely set the tone on how wrestling is today for the younger generation.
All right, mess around.
Man, there's so many ways I wanted to go with this one, but for me, I'm going to go with the Iron Man match with Bret the Hitman Hart and Shawn Michaels. Those two put on a clinic for an hour. Back and forth, so many moves. It was spectacular. One of the greatest matches ever, I think.
And Sarge?
I'm going with Undertaker and Shawn Michaels in WrestleMania's 25 and 26. I thought that was like one of the last times we saw Undertaker at his prime, and those were really good matches.
Yes, so was the Undertaker and Triple H and the Hell in a Cell match at WrestleMania. That was a really good match because that was supposed to be the end of an era match. That everybody thought that if Undertaker was going to lose, everybody thought that was going to be it. And it just ended up not happening. That was still a phenomenal match. But over time, there was so many good matches that you could have went to. And I think that people just went with this off of probably what really came to mind first and what really kind of impressed you. That's how I did it. I just thought that that's what made Mankind who he was, that Hell in a Cell match with The Undertaker. The hardcore legend himself. All right, Nate, let's go ahead and pull up the next topic. You are the GM of one WWE brand with the current roster. Make your best pay-per-view card. So with this one, it's kind of interesting because you have to look at how many matches are you going to go overall. That's the thing. And so, Sarge, I'll go ahead and I'll start with you on this one.
Oh boy, this one I struggled on this one. So I'm going to make a card. I'm going to start off with Damian Priest versus Seth Rollins. I think that would be awesome. For the tag team champions on the Raw side, I'm going to have the Lucha House Party versus the Hurt Business, with Lucha House Party going on top. Then, if we're doing current women's champions, could be Asuka versus I wrote it down somewhere. Yep, it's gonna be Asuka versus Flair. I can't believe I wrote that one down.
Wow.
I know. So for the U.S. championship, it's gonna be Riddle versus Elias, with Elias going on top on that one. Then I'm going to have a triple threat match with Drew McIntyre, Sheamus, and Braun Strowman to face Bobby Lashley. Then I'm going to have The Miz versus Bobby Lashley in the last man standing match.
Huh.
Yeah.
All right. Mess around, do I dare? Because you better not take any of my matches there, sir. We have the same minds here. We have the same minds.
Yeah, sometimes.
Oh, that's scary.
My first match, I'm going to go with Edge versus The Fiend. I think that'd be pretty cool to see. And then second one, I'm going to go with two of my favorite in-ring performers, The Miz versus Dolph Ziggler. I'd want to see that one. I think they've done it before, but I'd love to see it again. And then we want the Smoke versus New Day in a TLC match. I got Becky Lynch versus Bianca Belair. I'd love to see them two go at it. And then I got Lashley versus Lesnar versus Strowman versus Lee in my big man match. I'd love to see all those big boys go at it. And then I got Seth Rollins versus AJ Styles versus Nakamura and versus Daniel Bryan for the title. All the great in-ring performers I'd love to see go at it.
Well, you kind of went down the route that I did just a little bit there. In one of my championship matches, anyways, but it's a little different. But if I had to look at the Intercontinental Championship over time, right now, I would love to see. And if we're talking about like current right now, there's actually a lot of underutilized talent right now that I think could really be put in that picture. So I would like to see Cesaro on with an Intercontinental title shot. And if I had to put him against somebody right now, I would love to see him go against Damian Priest. I think that would be a great Intercontinental title match. And then when you look at the U.S. title, I mean, Matt Riddle, he's impressive in the ring. Do I think who can he really can compete with on that kind of level when you talk about skill overall? This one for me was really, really hard, but I would like to see Matt Riddle go against Jeff Hardy. He's still there. I think Jeff Hardy deserves another title run. So if he's not going to get a WWE championship run, then let's make it a US title run. And then tag teams, this one was so hard because right now you don't really have those tag teams that really stick out. You just really don't, because I feel like the tag teams have dropped off a little bit. I don't know if you guys agree with me on that, but I feel like it's that whole thing is the tag teams are not like they used to be. It's not the same anymore on the tag team side. So that to me is really, really tough. And basically all the tag teams out there now, you've seen it. You've seen them all. So you would almost have to create some kind of tag team. So at that point I'm like, I would keep the tag teams off the board right now because I don't really know at this point in time. But then when I look at the female side of things, obviously I got to go with Alexa Bliss and the women's title match, and I would love to see her go up against Bianca Belair. Alexa Bliss versus Bianca. I think that would be a great match. I would do that. And then, of course, the WWE Championship match. I would actually do a six-pack challenge. And in the six-pack challenge, I would basically put the best in-ring performers that there are right now. And I would have to go with Seth Rollins. I would have to go with AJ Styles. I would have to go with Dolph Ziggler. I completely drew a blank on this. AJ Styles, Dolph Ziggler, Seth Rollins, The Miz, and then the other two. Oh, man, I completely drew a blank on the other two. I cannot believe I was drawing a blank on that.
Did you have Nakamura?
I did not know. I had Daniel Bryan in there as number 5. And yes, I guess Nakamura would have been number 6. I would have put him in there because of his talent too. But those were the 6 that I would probably put in there because right now to me, sorry, I had Ricochet in that match. I completely forgot. Ricochet was in there. But you know what? I can make it a 7-man challenge. Instead of a 6-pack challenge, a 7-pack challenge.
7-man challenge. Come on.
What? You said what could be the best? Yeah. And you can make it a gauntlet match. And I'll tell you that would be a phenomenal championship match.
No doubt. I mean, those are all high flyers and definitely great in-the-ring performers. No doubt about that.
All right, so Mr. Brandon Herrera, you give me your takes.
Well, honestly, I mean, you guys probably picked every best match possible. I mean, there's no doubt about that. So I can't disagree with any of them. None of them, I'd book probably almost all the same matches. I would want to see Corbin go back to being the lone wolf. And I'd like to see him face Roman Reigns for the title. Give him the title run. Jey Uso versus Owens. I know we've seen it over and over again, but I think we have to do some kind of major match, be a no DQ or some kind of last man standing match with those two. Riddle versus, I know you guys said it, I was watching earlier, Ali. I think that would be a nice United States title match. For women, Boss, versus Banks Boss versus Bailey versus Belair would be a good one. So I think we need to start booking matches because I think we just nailed probably every good match they probably had.
I think it's funny, though. The one thing that we all had in common in our matches, we didn't have Reigns. We didn't have McIntyre. We didn't have Lashley. We didn't have Lesnar. We didn't have Goldberg. So it's funny.
I had Reigns. I had Reigns versus Corbin.
Well, you can keep your dang Reigns.
Right.
I don't want the guy, but I
don't want him either. But I mean, I do like his character now. But I really think Corbin's getting underused. I think he needs a good title run.
But why the heck would you put him against Reigns? There's so many other guys you could put him against.
Because right now Reigns has the title. I want Corbin to have the title.
But it's if you were to be able to make up your best You could technically take the belt off of Reigns if you wanted to and put it on somebody else.
You're right, but I'd rather see Corbin beat him. I'd rather see two heels go at it. Put Corbin back as the lone wolf. I actually like that character a lot more than I like this King Corbin stuff.
Man, well, I'll tell you what. So Randy Cox left his list. He's got the Fiend versus the Demon Balor, Baszler and Nia versus Belair. What? And Orton versus Priest, Riddle versus McIntyre versus Sheamus versus Adam Cole. What? No. The Miz versus Strowman and Lashley.
What?
Oh my. Hurt Business versus Rollins and Murphy, and Kevin Owens, Randy Orton, and AJ Styles versus Reigns in a handicap match.
Oh man!
Well.
I'm glad you're not GM Dragon Viper.
I hope you're feeling better, Dragon Viper, next week.
I, sir, would not buy your pay-per-view.
That's got to be the second best comment tonight I've heard from you guys. Sarge had the best one with breaking news on Viper's second favorite wrestler. That was a great one. I was laughing.
Right. Yeah, I sure will not buy that. But anywho, I don't think we have any other comments here. Comments, concerns, whatever. Yeah, Randy, laugh it up when nobody's buying your pay-per-view with the worst rated pay-per-view in history. Go ahead and laugh it up.
I'm surprised he more than 2 wrestlers on there.
I know, right? All right. Well, anyway, so Sarge, you got 30 seconds to say whatever it is you got to say. You got 30 seconds. Go ahead and take it away.
30 seconds. I am on a quest, guys. I just want to say, first of all, thank you for coming to the show, watching it. I'm on a quest to get a tag team title. I need a tag team partner. So maybe Tuesday I can get one. Just maybe.
Yeah, because right now you cannot overtake the Galabarzas.
Omega is coming.
The Galabarzas. All right. Mess around. You got 30 seconds.
30 seconds, huh? 30 seconds. What can I say in 30 seconds? I have a show coming out tomorrow on Talking All Sports All Plays called Who Am I? It's at 4:30 Pacific. Check it out. It's going to be about me covering the state of my favorite teams, the Bears, Bulls, White Sox. Plus, I'm going to throw out a player that you guys have to guess. I'll give you his name, and you have to guess which one of the franchises he played for. Should be fun. Check it out.
I like it. And then Mr. Brandon Herrera.
Well, Sarge, if you're looking for a tag partner, I could probably find you a guy that's 6 foot, bald headed, and about 4+. If you want to carry the weight. So yeah, we could be the Baldwin brothers, I guess. So, but anyway, so I hope you guys, had a great show. For the fans and the viewers, please stay tuned all week. We got some great content that's coming to you each night. So
I love it. So yet again, I want to thank all of our viewers for watching. Next week, though, we are actually going to have another special guest on, and he goes by Mambo Italiano. So be ready to watch that one. That's going to be really, really good. And then the next week we actually have 3 weeks in a row lined up with special guests. So we will let you know next week who the one is going to be for the next week, and then the next week after that, I can tell you right now that we actually have our first ever we're gonna have a referee guest appearing on our show. For our first time, we're gonna actually have a referee that we can actually interview, so you guys can listen to live answers of what it's like for a referee to be inside a ring. I cannot wait for that. That's gonna actually be a really cool interview. All right, so with that, I hope everybody has a fantastic night. And, of course, we will catch you again next Sunday for another episode of Between the Ropes. Everybody have a fantastic night.
One last thing.
Okay, go ahead.
Don't forget to check out our boys Rob Wild and Chris Casanova on their new show on Tuesday night.
On Tuesday. Yes, because we will be on there on Tuesday night. We will be on that show. So be ready. It's coming. It's going to be good. Great. Awesome. Wait for it Tuesday. We'll see you then. Have a fantastic night.
All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. 365, we making the plays. You talking the game, get you through the days. We're high in the court, the dime in the lane. Variety, topics never the same. All presentation, sports information. In the airways, taking the nation. All sport, all plays, like working your faces. Grace up the field, so time for laces. All sports, all plays. Network. All sports, all plays. Network. We on top of our game. All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays.